Welcome to No Shade episode 7. What is up, Sun fans? We finally have some basketball to talk about, some games. We have preseason WNBA ball, 2 games for the Connecticut Sun, the only 2 games we will have. But first, Joe, vibe check. How you doing? How's life?
We're good.
How's it on
We're
the
good.
other side of the street here in Drummond, Connecticut?
Let's see. It's been raining pretty much for the last feels like for the last week. So nice to see a little bit of sun this morning. Hopefully that's a nice little precipice here for the season. A little light. We got basketball. We actually can talk about some games. We don't just have to talk about filler stuff. We actually have games to discuss.
Yeah, it's good. I wasn't expecting to still be watching the actual NBA, the men's NBA. I wanted to call it the MNBA, but my brain doesn't work. So, the men's NBA. I wasn't expecting the Knicks to still be kind of alive. So,
Well, not even alive, doing well
I
too
was
now.
expecting to come on here and be like, "Yay, basketball!" But I'm actually still happy with the Knicks. But I'm very excited to get the season started because I am hyped. We didn't record on Wednesday, and it felt like something was missing in my life.
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, "Yeah, we're recording, right?" And you're like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh, we're not. What am I supposed to do? Like, I guess
Yeah,
gotta sit down and watch normal TV for a little bit. Like, this is weird."
yeah. I was like, yeah, we got to wait till Saturday because no point to record for one of the games and then not the other.
Right.
But yeah, nothing new in my life besides this fucking zit on my face that you're all looking at right now. Get that out of the way. Everyone's looking at it.
We'll edit it
Besides,
in post.
yeah. If I could, I would, but I don't have the skill or the patience. But yeah, besides that, we got a great night tonight. We got to talk about this. We got to watch the Knicks. We're going to watch that together, hopefully. And then we got WWE UFC tonight. So let's
Loaded
start off
sports
hot
Saturday.
with a great episode of No Shade. Let's get into the first game. Sun at Storm. They traveled all the way across country for preseason basketball. They go all the way to Seattle. This was on the 4th. May the 4th be with you. If you are a Star Wars fan, I'm not, but pretty much everyone else in the world is.
I
This
know
to
the
me,
Star Trek. I just wanted to piss people off.
okay. I
Continue.
honestly wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say this to me means Vader in the WWE / in Boy Meets World because he was on a couple episodes.
No, I'm thinking of the Ted references, Ted 2, where they're driving to the Star Wars convention and she starts, Amanda Seyfried starts naming Star Trek stuff. It's one of my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
scenes. And then they all gang up on her.
Are you not a Star Wars guy?
No, I am. I'm a big
Okay,
Star Wars
I
guy.
was going to say I thought you were. All right, so back to basketball because I could not fake about Star Wars at all. Our starters for the Sun were Lindsay Allen, Robin Parks, Haley Peters, Tina Charles, and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. And for the Storm, they had Skylar Diggins, Erica Wheeler, Alicia Clark, Nneka Ogwumike, and my girl Lee Yuru, who played fabulous. We'll get into it. It started off. I'll just describe the game quarter by quarter. I'm gonna go. I'll give big plays, and then I'll tell you who subbed in when. But I'm like I said to you earlier, Joe. I'm gonna tell just for the regular season. I'm just gonna give like big plays and a little fan analysis. I think for the preseason, it's important to say who comes in when, and so you see how the rotation's going, and we can talk about that a little bit. But I'll go quarter by quarter, and I'll pass it to you each quarter, and you give play analysis if you want, and that's how I think our flow should go. But we're trying it out here. This is a preseason for us as well, for the game structure. So in the first quarter, it started with Olivia Nelson-Ododa not looking strong at all physically, going to the hoop. Lee Yuru just honestly, she's thick. She's just much thicker than her, and she's just much more physical. Like I said, Yuru impressed me again. She, like I told that story, she impressed me the first game we went to, and she impressed me again watching this game. She's just way more physical. Peters hit 2 threes very early. I got very excited. JC was the first off the bench and drained a 3. That was exciting. She has a lot of fans on No Shade. We'll get to that later. Amy Okonkwo, Yvonne Anderson, and Carrietta Diaby subbed in next. For those of you who are not totally familiar with the rookies, and I had to make some notes myself, Okonkwo is number 0. She's got a brown braid. Diaby has the silver hair. Actually, I'm a big fan of the silver hair. It's one of my favorite looks. And she's number 23. Yvonne Anderson's got the fro, and she's a vet, so everyone should know Yvonne. Subbing, they were next in. They all came in about the same time. Diaby also couldn't box out Yuru. She kind of got embarrassed on the other end trying to back her down. And then Hayes got subbed in, so a lot of people were coming in the first in this game. Amidst a 12-2 run for Seattle, Sun had a nice ball movement play where Hayes was getting seemingly open for a layup, but then got absolutely blocked out of nowhere. So not a lot of good happened in the first. A lot of substituting.
Yeah, I think just from a first preseason game standpoint, you're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall. You know, you're not going to overextend anyone. I mean, looking at minutes, like Haley Peters and Yvonne Anderson were 25 minutes, and then everyone kind of trickled down from there. I mean, the first play looked awesome. First play of the game, we had a double stagger screen, right? So 2 screens away, ball goes to the wing. Then we get another screen for the post and hit Tina Charles for, a nice back down layup, hook shot to start the game. I saw the vision immediately. I'm like, okay, we're going to try to force feed the post. They ran that same action. And again, this is without Marina on the floor. Marina didn't play game 1. So like I started imagining like, okay, who would be the one coming off this first screen? How would the defense react normally? And, is that going to create more for Charles? We'll talk more in the second game, about having a few more players on the floor. But no, it seemed like there was a coherent effort to get the ball in the post and try to get the ball in the post. But in the first quarter, a lot of shots, weren't falling inside out, weren't falling outside of Haley's couple threes. And like you said, JC's 3 when she came in. The offense was a little bit rough around the edges. I know I texted you being like, oh man, if this is our first quarter point guard play, like not looking great. But I think a lot of that first quarter too is a lot of these players, they've only been practicing for a week or 2 with each other. Like you don't know exactly where someone wants the ball, how they want the ball. Like you just have to get the reps. So I think the first quarter was a lot about just mixing and matching, seeing what's stuck, and seeing if you can get anything positive out of it.
The great part about women's basketball is that they're always playing. Like they're like always like in shape. They're always ready. I mean, I don't know for them. I don't know if like they would like more of an off season, probably, but just like as for like the season starting perspective, like they're always ready. Like they've been either in college like a month ago, or they were overseas, or they were playing at Unrivaled now.
There's a lot of options for year-round.
Yeah, so they were either just playing, or what was my point? Now I forget. But I forget where I was going with this. But yeah, because I also wanted to mention, and I was going to forget that I forgot to mention who was the starters who were out. Mabry had a hamstring injury.
It's a lower leg.
Lower leg.
Yeah.
Sanaya Rivers, we want to send our condolences to her, the passing of her mother right after the draft. At least we're happy she got to be there with her on draft night. That was sad to hear.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine the joy of getting drafted and having your family there with you, and then a few days later, ripped away like that. So definitely, like you said, thoughts and prayers, our condolences. hope she she can take all the time she needs. It's a big loss.
Yeah. And then Anissa Morrow is a leg injury as well, and Diamond DeShields as well. They were both on the bikes throughout practices.
And then Layla's still
Layla's still
overseas.
overseas. I think she's still in the playoffs. Yeah, so there's that. I'm just trying to get back to now my second quarter. Anything else in the first quarter?
I mean, it's more of a big picture thing than a quarter specific thing, but I felt that early on Seattle did a really good job with ball screens, with handoffs. And like we talked about last episode on the board, like that's what they were practicing. So it's kind of discouraging to see how well, and again, Seattle's a very good team. Diggins is great. Obviously the bigs on Seattle are talented as well. You guys know me. That's Nakia. Thank you. I had to go look back at the name real quick. Like Nakia is really good. She's one of the best in the league. So like obviously those actions, but I think there was like a specific play in the first half. I can't remember the timestamp, but like JC, who's ultra aggressive on defense, went to go blitz the screen. And I can't remember if it was ODO or if it was Tina, but they went to go like hedge, but like someone like JC didn't need the hedge where someone else might. So it's just like communication things and like the pick and roll and the handoff coverages. Like you could tell game one that it's going to need a lot of work.
Yeah. All right. So I like to say the second quarter, the first quarter ended 24-12 Storm. So second quarter, I'd like to say got better, but this game really didn't get much better in any quarter. Madison Hayes hits a 3 after a slow start to the quarter for the Sun. Tina Charles is impressive. She gets a 1-on-3 rebound and a putback. Only one who could play against Lee Yuru. But we did get Yuru in 4 fouls in the first half, so that was nice. That's a theme throughout both games, getting teams into foul trouble on both sides of the ball. Honestly, we'll get to it more in this. I'll get to it more in the second game. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I struggled to say this, getting offensive fouls drawn, like when we're on defense.
Yeah.
And the other team's on offense. Yeah.
Drawing an offensive foul.
Yeah. Yeah. But not negatively. Like, not like getting the charge.
Drawing the offense.
Yeah, that's how you say it. Okay. Just, I don't want to say it like an idiot.
Taking the charge.
Yeah. Or like even like just, or like getting the person like we'll get to it. But like players on the Liberty were getting annoyed and like even just like hand checking like shit. I don't know if it's technically charges or what they call it, but like
push offs.
Like, it was like push off shit. It was like, wow, we're like kind of like getting in their heads a little bit. But we'll get there. All right. We had a nice transition bucket to end the half, but nothing really of note happened. 45-32 Storm to going into the half. Charles had 8 and 2. Peters had 5 and 3 going into the half. Okonkwo had 6 points, but 4 of them were off free throws. Lee Yuru had 9 and 7. Ogumake 10, 5 and 3. Clark 7 and 3, and Diggins had 9. We got dominated going into the half. What'd you have?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at all the shooting numbers in the first half, and outside of Tina and Haley, like nothing was really falling. Tina's a pro. I mean, we talked about it. She's probably going to get hers all season long. She just has so many different ways to score. Whether it's the hook shot, whether it's turnaround fadeaway, whether it's the Kevin Garnett step into deep 2 from the top of the key. Like Tina's going to be a very common force. Again, it just the point guard play was tough for me in the first half. I felt like there was a lot of, and this is not just one player. This is Allen. This is Anderson. This is JC when she was running the point. Seemed like a lot of like on the pick and rolls. There was a lot of tips and deflections. Versus Seattle, and Seattle's a very long team defensively, yes, but like, getting blitzed on a screen and then throwing the ball as high as you can, hopefully it works. Like, it's not going to work. You have to be able to be strong. You have to be able to retreat dribble. You have to be able to react, which again, I know we're skipping back and forth. They did a lot better job in the second game, right? So again,
Yeah.
I think a lot of this was, you can play basketball, you can play 1,000 games, you can play all over the world, but like when you're in a new system with a new team, with a new group of players, like these wrinkles are going to happen. And again, Seattle's a good team. It's not like Seattle was playing a good amount of their starters. Like
I
it
got two
was.
different vibes. I got two different vibes from New York and Seattle when we were playing. Seattle
Yeah,
looked
it
like
seemed like Seattle was like trying to prove like they're still relevant,
they were
kind of.
like running their offense. I felt like, and they were like, we still have the same team. Like, let's run our shit. We know each other, and like let's get up to speed.
Yeah.
And even without Magabor and Malanga, like Yuru was, and she's new, and she was like fit right in. It was dominating.
hmm
Um,
Well, and when you have a point guard like Diggins, like it helps.
yeah,
It's gonna
that's
find
why I had
you
them
all
so
different
high.
ways.
That's
Yeah.
why I have them so high. I feel like they're gonna try so hard. They're gonna be like the Cavs this year, or like the Hawks that year that they were the 1 seed. Although they're not gonna get the 1 seed, but it just happens. I feel like in sports where teams win the most games, even though they're not the best team. But they're gonna end up. What did I say? 3.
Yeah, I think you got them 3.
Um, but uh, oh, in New York, I got the vibe that they were just kind of not fucking around, but like they were having fun. They were like, without Stewie playing either, they were just like, let's get these like our new additions are like really involved. Let's like get Cloud involved. Let her be a boss. Let who was the other? We'll get to it, but
Johannes.
yes. She hit like 8 threes. It felt like. But all right, let's get back to the third quarter versus Storm before we can get to the better game.
Yep.
We came out with the same starting five. Nelson Adota had 2 nice steals and a fast break, 1 finish, 1 foul drawn. But she wasn't close to moving Yuru when they matched up in the half court. But she really is good at getting the ball back on defense, and her length really comes into play in the second game. The play of Okonkwo in Diaby just make me want to see Marshall and at the time Borkowska on the floor. And the guards feel like they've disappeared after a stronger first quarter comparatively. Not that the first quarter we spoke highly about them, but the best part of this game so far, I wrote, was the steals and transition buckets. Rhea Marshall comes into the game and immediately gets a nice bucket. Going into the fourth, just Caitlin Bickle and Barkowska haven't played. Sign of things to come if you haven't been spoiled on it already. Um, the third quarter ends 68-49. Storm are up. Anything to add before we get to the fourth?
No, I mean the third and the fourth. I'll let you segue back into it, but it's felt a little more predictable with the lineups. Meaning in the sense of like trying to just force feed it into the post, trying to play off a post, like between Diaby and Aquanco. How do you say it?
Okonkwo.
Okonkwo. Between the two of them, it felt like it was like dribble 5 times, back to the basket, try to pivot, hook shot, throw a shot. Like it wasn't quality basketball to watch, but it was, I mean, they got to the foul line a little bit, they missed a lot of shots, but yeah, it wasn't as like neat and clean as like the first half was.
Yeah. All right. The fourth quarter graciously came, and Tina was still playing and making buckets. And she was playing with Rhea Marshall a little bit, which I like to see. Um, I hate to even read this now, but Borkowski got to check in with just over 8 minutes to go. I was really pumped. Rhea Marshall got a nice block. Camilla wasn't committing on her picks, which I wrote down. I was critical of her, so I want that to be known. I wasn't just fanboying for her. She was not committing on her picks, and most of the time wasn't even making contact, and just leaving for the roll. Peters hits a three like she did early after not shooting for a while. Borkowski got a few good looks but couldn't make the shot. This is so depressing now that she's not on the team anymore. But I wanted to wrote down what she did because I'd been talking about her so much. She got 2 shots. She missed them both. The second one looked worse. Bickle gets in with just over 4 minutes to go. She did nothing of note. JC Sheldon struggling in the last few minutes versus Madison Connor. Peter hits her third 3 shooting 100%. No one else made 2. The only others to hit a 3 were Sheldon 1 for 5 and Hayes 1 for 4. And that's it. 79-59 Storm final. We lost by 20. And
Yeah,
what do you got
I mean the Barakowska minutes and the Bickle minutes were nothing to write home about. Obviously, segue into the news. They were the 2 latest players to be cut. Just made sense with how the game went. If you're not getting any run, you're probably on your way out. They probably are like, oh, the staff is like, hey, let's see them in a live game and see if we see anything. And unfortunately, both players didn't show. So yeah, that gives us going into the Liberty game with what we decided was 16 people left on the roster.
Yeah, but hold on. I just want to I'll just read the stats from the first game real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go into who we thought had a good game and a bad game specifically. We'll just give our final notes, and then we'll go into the Liberty game. Offensive numbers: Lindsey Allen, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists in 13 minutes. Parks, no points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 20 minutes. Peters, 11, 4, and 1 in 25. Charles, 13, 3, and 1 in 20. Nelson Adota, 4, 0, and 0 in 12. JC, 5, 1, and 1 in 22. Okonkwo, 10, 4, and 1 in 15. Sounds impressive. Really wasn't. Yvonne Anderson, 3, 2, and 3 in 24. Diaby, 6, 3, and 0 in 13. Hayes, 3, 2, and 1 in 16. Rhea Marshall, 2, 0, and 1 in 9. Bickle, 0, 2, and 0 in 5. Borkowska, 0, 1, and 0 in 3. She got 3 minutes. Like, what could she have proven? If she hit those 2 shots, was she staying?
Yeah, I would assume not. I think that was probably a decision right in
Yeah,
the wall.
they saw it they saw enough in practice, I guess.
Right.
All right. In defensive numbers, Peters, Nelson Adota, Parks, Hayes, and Marshall all had 2 steals in that game. Charles, Lindsey Allen, JC, and Yvonne all had 1. Charles had 2 blocks. Hayes and Marshall had 1. Who stood out to you? For me, in a good way, I have 3. Tina Charles, still dominant. Haley Peters, her 3s look beautiful. Judging based on a game where she went 3 for 3, but that's all she's given us to see. If she can be a pretty good shooter with Marina, that fills a huge need. Rhea Marshall played 9 minutes, scored a bucket, had 2 steals and a block. Like, that's how you prove it in your minutes. Who stood out in a good way for you?
Same good for me. I mean, it was Tina. Obviously, like I said, pro's pro. She's going to get hers every night. I mean, she's clearly still a focal point. And, without Marina playing, like, you play through Tina. And you're going to play through Tina with Marina. So, like, Tina was great, did what she expected. I mean, we can't rely on her to score 20 and 15 every night. But, like, she showed, like you said, she still has it. The other one for me, it's not many. I think the Rhea Marshall minutes were also really good. I was interested to see her offensive game. She seemed aggressive in her couple minutes, or a couple quick shots in a row. Like you said, the activeness on defense, had a couple deflections to go along with the steals and the block. So very active hands, 6'4". She's longer on the floor than I thought she would look. So that was nice. And then, having her get some run with Tina Charles and with Odio, like getting her in different roles to play as like I told you, I want her to be the third big in the rotation if, things work out. So it was nice to see her get some run with Tina like that.
Yeah, she definitely replaced Borkowska for me. Marshall needs to be on the team and getting some minutes. I didn't even want Borkowska to get minutes. I just wanted her on the team as the last person. Now I want
Right.
Marshall to like actually play. Like if Okonkwo and Diaby are one of them make the team and or get minutes over her, I'll be a little upset. Who in a bad way? Who stood out?
I texted you. I thought Lindsay Allen this game was not great running the show. I thought she made a couple really bad decisions out of the pick and roll. A couple panicked passes, couple tipped passes over long arms where she tried to, instead of like fake high go low or making a different read. Like I thought she was not great. Fortunately, spoiler alert, she turns it around in the next game. But just from the first glance, I told you I think point guard is such an important position for this team. I had a little higher expectations for her to be more in control. I think she ended up with 5 turnovers. Yeah, that's the number, 5 turnovers, only 3 assists. Obviously, not a good ratio. But yeah, she was the big one, and then throw another name out there. I guess ODO underwhelmed, just based on what people told us from the live practice and just kind of one of the returning players from last year that you were hoping was taking the next step in this game. Like you said, she was outmatched physically, any kind of physical play. She was outmatched or pushed off her spot. So I would say those two were the did not have a great showing in the first game.
I think you're saying ODO. I don't know what you're thinking of. Say ONO. Olivia Nelson Ododa.
I don't know. I saw
Oh,
someone say ODO, and I was
O
like, I like it.
Ododa. O
Ododa.
ODA.
I don't know. Someone said ODO, and I was like, oh, I like that.
I don't like it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know where the third.
Oh no, we want to call her Oh no. Then I can change it.
ONO. I call her Olivia Nelson Ododo, but I abbreviate it when I text it to or type it to ONO. I don't say ONO.
So I can't remember where
But
I
I
saw.
don't
I
know
don't know
what
if it was on.
ODO would be.
I think it was on social media. I saw someone was like, "Oh,
I think it was a
ODO
typo.
looks good."
I think it was a
You,
typo.
you think it was a typo?
I think.
Well, now I have to call her ODO. I can't change it.
Olivia Delson Ododa. All right, I agree with you. I have 3 groupings of in a bad way who stood out. I have the point guards, all of them. Allen, Parks, JC, Yvonne, and Hayes combined for 13 points. They got 10 assists, which I won't kill them for. That's pretty solid. Even though it's 5 people. Not all of them got a lot of minutes, but we gotta get more than 13 points. Got to get more than 13 points. And like we say, spoiler alert, it gets better, but
Mm-hmm.
um, that's just not acceptable. 13 points from 5 point guards. Okonkwo and Diaby, I combined them and I said they played a similar game today. Stats look nice, but really nothing stood out from their games. As a positive standpoint, Okonkwo was 3 from 10 and Diaby was 2 from 6. Neither looked good in their matchups defensive either. A lot of it was free throws. And then, like I've repeated, Nelson Adota looked physically undermatched and wasn't finishing today. Oh, I also wrote Borkowska just because I was super focused on her. And she said terrible picks and missed her only 2 shots. And she got cut, sadly. And we will miss you. I'll miss you. Thanks for responding to me on Instagram.
Um,
Thanks.
officially, it is Oh no. I don't know. I think ODO. I'm
Yeah,
taking it from one of our drills in our high school practice, and
I
just
knew you must have been thinking of something.
applied it to her. So we're going with Oh no. It's the O and O. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean it's her initials. If you saw it, I was like, it had to be a typo. Somebody
It only
texted
took
it.
7 episodes for you to correct me, so it's all good.
There's no way you have been saying it for 7
I've
episodes.
been saying it for at least 4.
Wow. I blame the listeners then. You guys got to be calling him out when he says that shit if I'm not calling him out.
Uh,
All right. So after the game, Bickle and Borkowska got cut. They didn't play much. Nothing happened. And then we had to wait till Saturday to get, or till Friday to get the next game. While like every other team got to play like every day. It felt like the Fever played like 9 times. It felt like in every
yeah,
state.
I wonder if that just had to do with being cross country, flying back a couple days. I don't know.
Yeah, weird scheduling. They could have had us play like who else is out there? Fucking Golden
Uh,
State.
yeah, it was weird.
Dude, how about can we talk about Golden State for a second before we get into the second game?
Let's.
I was a big fan of their draft, but Mark like all right, so let's just talk about Cheyenne Sellers first. They cut her. They waived
Mhm.
her. She signs with Atlanta. That's good for Atlanta. How do you not just like give her a chance? Don't give me this bullshit. We are putting the 12 best women on this team to win this year. You're not. You're the worst team in the league. You're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they cut her too before the preseason game, that was what was interesting to me. Like, at least if you had a game, she played, and it was like an absolute nightmare or something. Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed kind of out of left field that the coach came out, and the coach's statement didn't help. Like, she did everything she could. She did her best, and she's just not good enough. And then she makes it to a better rosters team
Yeah, she hasn't been cut
one
yet.
day, one day later. Like,
I haven't seen one negative thing said about Cheyenne. She seems like a great person. She's quiet from what I've seen. She looks shy. I mean, no pun intended. Her name's Cheyenne. But she like seems quiet and she just got engaged, so congrats to her. But I love them picking Yosite, even though she's not coming over from everything it seems.
mhm.
But like from a like PR standpoint on your first season, they could not have fucked up this draft more. As much as I love it from a player perspective, from or like it's I loved it from with Cheyenne Sellers and Yosite. But like think about it. Yosite's not here. They did all their publicity. They sent him to Golden State games. They're doing all this publicity with Cheyenne Sellers and Caitlin Chen. It's now just Caitlin Chen. They're showing off a girl who won't get any minutes this season.
Yeah,
As
I
like
mean,
this is our first pick ever. Like this is our first draft. Now it's just Caitlin Chen, who I love. I'm great for Caitlin Chen. Now they won't cut her because it's like, are you really going to cut all your draft picks and have nothing to show?
I told you I thought for a first year expansion team, I just think they have not done a good job. And we're getting 2 more expansion teams next year. So like if the Valkyrie just completely have an awful season, win less than 5 games or whatever, worst team in the league, like you want to grow this league, but like the Houston Texans in the NFL were not great for the first 10, 15 years of that franchise. Like you don't want to be the worst team in the league and not continue to improve. Like sure, you have the aesthetics of California and like, oh, people are going to want to play in California, but like
I
not
think I
people are
think
going
with
to
the
look at it as
draft,
not a good look.
I think with the draft though, like with the amount of how many great players come out of college, and like they're gonna get like a superstar at some point.
You would think. I mean, next year's draft should be deep. It should be at least 5, 6 deep of like potential all-star players, but
I don't know how it works for them because it's like based off 2 years of history. So like
yeah, I'm not
I don't
100%
know
sure.
what there is like what happens for them. Um, but I don't know what happened with them this year, how they got picked in. So it'll work. But that was our quick Valkyrie rant.
Yeah.
Um,
Good, you got it
but
out of your
like yeah,
system. I know
it's
you
like
were pent up with that.
social media wise, it's just like now all you have is Caitlin Chen to present. It's like you could have drafted anyone. Could have drafted Anise Marsh. Could have been the face of your franchise.
It's true.
Now she's ours. All right, let's get into this much better preseason game. Happened on 5/9. It was in New York. It was at the Barclays Center. Sun at Liberty. Starters were JC, Lindsey Allen, Mabry, who was back, Tina Charles, and Nelson ODO, as Joe once referred to her as.
Oh no! Oh no!
ONO, oh no. So we have Mabry back, but we still don't have either of the rookies still, or Diamond Shields or Layla Lacan. Liberty start Cloud, Ionescu, Burke, Gardner, and Jones. They do not have Stewie and basically everyone else. First quarter, Mabry is great offensively early. She's kind of lazy rebounding defensively, but there's kind of one or two plays, nothing to keep an eye out on. I should have deleted that, honestly. I wrote it to keep an eye out on and then never went back to it. Peters quickly came in for Nelson Adodo early. That was also somebody to keep an eye out on. I don't know why they subbed that quickly, but Nelson Adodo came back and played great, so didn't really matter. Mabry got cold pretty quickly after she got hot and missed 2 back-to-back threes. Yvonne Anderson came in next. Robin Parks in after her. Peters ended her 3-point streak. Rest in peace to that. She missed after going 3 for 3 in the first game. Parks' scoreless streak continued with an airballed, wide-open corner 3 that I know I could hear Joe groan from across Trumbull. Diaby came in next, and then Parks ended her scoreless streak with the opposite corner 3 from where she missed from. We had nice ball movement on a last possession, but Diaby didn't get the shot off in time, depressingly enough. The Liberty were up 27-21 after 1.
Yeah, we talked about, the offense just between game 1 and game 2 looked a lot smoother. Marina being on the floor, I think just as a common presence, looked like she was trying to give it up a few times early, not wanting to bring up the ball to get into the offense flow and get it to Lindsey Allen. But then, there's other times where it was, no, I'm bringing it up this time. So it'll be interesting to see if she continues to be kind of like that combo guard, because in this lineup, she's technically the 3, JC being the 2, Allen being the 1. I thought JC got off to a really good start too. Like not just offensively, but she was in your face defensively. And I think her getting that starting nod, I think, she wanted to show like, hey, like I can be a starting 2 guard in this league. Like you got to remember, she was on the Dallas team. We traded her for Carrington. Like she was the number 5 pick in the draft 2 years ago. Yeah. Like she's not somebody that they gave up on her. Like Carrington is a budding star in the league potentially, like a high level role player. Like JC was a top 5 pick for a reason. Like she can shoot the ball, she can handle the ball, she plays defense. Like she's a very good 2-way player. And looking at our Instagram poll questions, everyone was very excited to see what JC looked like in the starting lineup. So early on, I thought the offense flowed so much better. And I thought our on-ball defense, like you mentioned before, Cloud was very frustrated. She was arguing Ionescu like fell to the ground because she got put. Like we were playing physical against the New York team early on.
Yeah, we were playing a different style basketball, it felt like. And Marina is physical. I'll probably say that a few times in here. She was pushing and shoving anytime she had the ball and anytime she was setting picks or running through someone. After started the second quarter, Okonkwo came in. Allen hit a 3 with 6 minutes left to tie the game, to probably most Suns fans' shock and disbelief. Great offensive rebound by Allen on a Charles missed inside. Lindsey Allen crashed in, came in, dished to Mabry in a corner for 3 for the Suns' first lead. Beautiful play. Might have been one of the plays of the game. The team is drawing, like I said earlier, that we were doing in the other game. We're drawing a lot of cheap Liberty fouls on the offensive side for the Liberty. Drawing offensive fouls, as you said. Allen is nice leading assist to Charles as she drives into the basket. Allen, nice and 1 bucket, but couldn't make the free throw. But again, Allen is really stepping up in this game, or at least in this quarter. Nelson Adodo, still with no muscle down low, but her length and wingspan is so great that like she's so good at rebounding and just like catching tough passes and getting fouled and getting to the line and hitting her free throws. Um, like there was a couple passes that weren't good that she caught and still turned into 2 free throws or a bucket, and it was pretty impressive. But if she just has the ball and has to back someone down, she's probably got to pass out of it. And that's all I got for the second quarter. At halftime, we were up 53-50. So really good second quarter, especially
Yeah,
for Allen.
I think Adoda's presence in the pick and roll is really nice. She caught a couple coming down, and like you said, I mean, she shot free throws. She was getting around the rim. I also liked a couple times she grabbed defensive rebounds, and like one of the guards was blocked off. Like she confidently took it up the floor, just to get the motion going. Like I said, the offense just felt more fluid. It felt there was a lot more handoff actions. Like, it's a pass to the top in the slot, which is, in between 3-point line and the elbow. And then you either had a handoff, a fake handoff, you had a pass into a ball screen, into a hand. Like it was a lot more like hot potato, right? Coach Mez said in the beginning of the season, like, we don't have superstars. It's going to be, everyone contributing in some way. Like we saw that more where it was like, hey, maybe on paper, New York is more talented in this game. And of course they didn't have Stewie on the floor, but like we were making them move. We were making them defend. We were making them having to communicate on screens, and they were the ones who had the miscommunications. And then, you roll to the basket, and then, Parks is taking, warm-up jumpers, right? JC's taking warm-up jumpers. Like Marina, a couple great step backs creating space. Like the offense just seemed to flow a little bit better.
Yeah, I really want to see how the Rooks look with this team because we shouldn't be the bottom team of the league. We should beat the Valkyrie. We should beat the Mystics. We
Well,
should
I'm
compete.
very interested to see now. I mean, I guess we can talk about it kind of looking forward. Like Rivers, I think can fit more seamlessly right away from like a defensive wing into like
Yeah,
slasher. I'm very
she's going to
interested
help
to see.
transition basketball so much.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Morrow fits. Like, is she going to be used as a power forward for uh, giving Charles and Adoda a
Yeah,
break,
especially
or is she going to be used as a small forward and like mismatch? Like, I'm
yeah.
interested now.
If Charles is the power forward, that ends that question
Right,
because that's what.
right.
Yeah, Nelson Adoda is the center, and Morrow can't play center, so
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see how. And again, I wish they had a couple
I
more
did not see
preseason
the
games.
I did not see the vision with Olivia Nelson Adoda as center and Tina Charles as power forward. Like I didn't see this.
Well, it makes sense because I mean, Charles has a little more range. I mean, Charles hits threes. Like, right? She had one this game. She was 1 for
I know.
2.
I just like saw like a Nelson Adoda a couple years in the league gets like 3 to 4 points, 3 to 4 rebounds, like comes off the bench. Like, and
It's
then I
cool
see
to
this
have
Connecticut
2.
Sun team that doesn't have a big roster that drafted these rookies that should want to play them. That's just what I thought. But this is Nelson Adoda's year. This is her time.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool again to have 2 bigs playing basketball, whether you're Karl Anthony Towns and Mitch Robinson, whether you're give me another one, Alfred Sengun and Steven Adams. Like 2 bigs is cool again. Like, this it's if you have the spacing and you have the size and length, like Adota is gonna be versatile. She's not gonna be your
Ewing
post.
and Mason.
Say
Ewing and
again?
Mason. Ewing and Mason.
Ewing and Mason, Robinson and Duncan. Like we're going back in time for this. You have to have the skills to be able to do multiple things, but like, yeah, I mean, our front court, again, 2 preseason games, can't get overexcited, but like looked pretty nice this game. And like New York still had size. It wasn't like they were undersized. We just took advantage of switches and mismatches when they showed.
Yeah, I mean Jonquil Jones was still playing,
Yep.
former MVP. So I didn't write down halftime stats for this one. So we'll just go right into the third quarter. Uh Hayes finally came in. She was playing I think she was playing in the first quarter last game. So
Yep.
she took more time off with Mabry in, which I guess is expected. Parks missed another three. Oh no, she hit another three, but still not impressed by her game at all. Is what is what I wrote down. Marshall finally in. I wanted to see uh, her more. I think this is my fourth quarter shit. Why did I transferred it from my phone to my computer? So let me check. All right. Well, I think this is my fourth quarter notes. I think my third quarter notes got deleted.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll skip that. But in the fourth quarter, Marshall finally came in. Yvonne dishes easy layup, airball three, by Okonkwo, and Liberty hit a three to end it. So Okonkwo could have given us the final momentum to go with a great win, and then the Liberty had to get that final momentum just to piss me off a little bit with Okonkwo. But we won 94-86 final. In the third quarter, though, we played well and we got a lot of steals, I think. And yeah, I'm pissed my notes got deleted.
No, it's all right. I mean, in that third quarter, it was a lot going well for us. I thought defensively. I mean, we won the
Oh
quarter.
shit! I'm sorry, I found it. It got
We did.
rearranged.
We won the quarter 31-18. So a lot of shots were falling that weren't falling in the first game. Even the
I found,
announcers were saying like Connecticut just seemed to be more in rhythm. They had everything going, flow, good passing, crisp passing. So I
I
mean,
found my notes. Sorry, Joe.
from a big level, like it looked great.
They switched orders. All right. So yeah, Nelson Adota was using her length. She got a 3-against-1 tip-in bucket against three bigs. So she didn't have to use her body. She had to use her length. She got the nice bucket. Nice transition pull-up for three from Tina. She really can play as good as she's been playing her whole career. She's been doing everything in these two games. All three spots, mid-range layups, three-pointers. JC transition three to put us up by 5. Liberty, by this point, have no starters in. Parks got a clear path and missed the free throw. She got a clear path foul called against her on her and missed the free throw. Very disappointing. Can't be doing that in a regular season game. We're still drawing fouls on defense even when it's later in the game. They've taken their starters out. We don't have to play as hard. These women are still trying to show their worth and show they're deserving of a spot and minutes of on this team, and that's the kind of play that Mezion wants. Never say die, no matter what the score is. Always play 100%. Yeah, everyone was playing hard on defense with little time left in the third, leading to Yvonne stealing and a breakaway layup. Parks hit an open three before the clock expired. She somehow she gets a lot of open threes. Parks gets a lot of open shots. She doesn't hit many of them, but she gets a lot of open shots. I don't know if it's a scouting report thing or somehow she gets open. But
Yeah, I don't know if
84-868 is what
corner.
the quarter ended.
I don't know if it's just that corner role, of catch and shoot. It seems like when she came up on the perimeter in a few of the games and in the first game and tried to like ISO and shoot a pull up mid range jumper, like that didn't seem like it was her game.
Yeah.
But she's a long wing, and if she catches in the corner and she's open, she's clearly got the confidence to shoot it. I mean, she didn't shoot it well in the first game, but 3 of 6 from 3, and showed a little something.
Yeah. And then the fourth quarter was Hayes and Marshall finally came in. So yeah, we won 94-86, and here are the offensive numbers. Tina had 17, 6, and 3 in 24 minutes. JC had 16 points and was 3 of 4 from 3 in 17 minutes. Nelson Adota was 15 and 7, had 7 of 8 from the free throw line in 17 minutes. Mabry was 13 points, 3 assists, 3 of 7 from 3 in 19 minutes. Allen was 5, 2, and 7 in 23 minutes. Parks had 9 points, 3 of 6 from 3 in 27 minutes. Yvonne 6, 3 and 4 in 22 minutes. Marshall 5 and 2 in 5 minutes. Just love to see that in 5 minutes. 5 and 2 in 5 minutes. Okonkwo 4 and 4 in 12. Peters 2, 5 and 2 in 16. Only 1 of 4 from field goal range. Diaby 2, 5 and 2 in 16, and Hayes 0, 1 and 2 in 10. Defensive numbers: 2 steals was Charles and Yvonne Anderson. 1 steal was Nelson Adodo, Mabry, Parks, Okonkwo, Marshall, and 2 blocks was Nelson Adodo. Who stood out to you in a good way, Joe?
2 names. It was Lindsay Allen this time. Like I said, I felt she was much more comfortable running the offense, made great decisions. Obviously, 7 assists to 1 turnover, much better where you want your starting point guard to be. Still only took 4 shots. I mean, she was really working on setting up her teammates, getting them to receive the ball in good spots. And I'm a big plus minus guy. I know you're not a huge plus minus person because it doesn't always tell the whole story, but when she was running the show on the floor, like she was plus 17. Like that's what you want to see from your starting point guard. Like when you're on the floor, good things are happening. And then my other call out is JC. Again, we talked about she seems to be a fan favorite already, but if she is going to score on top of playing hard-nosed defense and she's not afraid to get down and dirty, diving for a loose ball, mix it up, she's someone that I really hope is able to flourish here and take the next step.
Yeah, I had a few names. I have Nelson Adodo. Her length and her ability to get to the line and hit free throws really stepped up in this game, and I think she's going to have a roller coaster of a season based on matchups. I know we were talking about that off to the side a little bit. If she's facing a Lee Aru, a big body powerhouse, maybe not have the best game, but if she's facing somebody where she can get to the line, somewhere where she can finesse, she's going to have a good game. Marina Mabry was fired up and physical all 19 minutes she was out there, and even more on the bench as well. She wasn't the best shooting game, but wasn't her worst at all. It was good for her first game. I'll take that. But love her physicality, so I definitely like seeing that out there. Definitely good
having
standout.
her on the floor just changes everything. She's a threat. Like she allows Tina to have more space posting up. You have to respect when she sets a screen that she can't just like pop back out to the 3-point line. Like, and I was very impressed. Her body control, like just the physicality. And again, comparing it to the NBA, like it's a lot like James Harden, where it's like she's gonna go at her own pace, get to her spot when she wants to, and like she's crafty as well to draw fouls, or attempt to draw fouls.
Yeah, nice Jim Harden comparison. And then I had JC, who had 16 points. Would be huge from our starting point guard night in and night out if we can get that. And then Rhea Marshall just keeps shining. She had 5 minutes. Couldn't ask for more production. 1 steal and 5 points and 2 rebounds. And then obviously Lindsay Allen playing like a legit point guard, dishing the ball all over the place with 7 assists. So very good. We got 5 people who stood out to me in a good way. In a bad way, I'll say I have 4 people, and it's pretty similar to last game. But for new, I have Haley Peters. Went from not missing to barely scoring. Got some boards, but looked like a different player out there. Robin Parks, I'm not sure why she's getting so many minutes. I just don't see it in her at all. What did she have? She had 27 minutes this game.
Yeah, led the team.
Ray Marshall couldn't get some of those minutes. Hayes couldn't get some of those minutes. Peters couldn't even get some more of those minutes. Okonkwo even, like anyone. And then I had Diaby. She probably got the least time out of the Parks and Okonkwo, but hasn't had much to show for it. And then Okonkwo, if anything, this game showed that last game stats were as I thought, and were more of circumstance and less of good play. I don't see much with her as well. So, what about you with who stood out bad?
Yeah, I mean Perks, and it's not just offensively. I mean, she went 3 of 6, which is obviously a good shooting night. But there were a couple situations. One that's standing out to me was in the third quarter, just like sprinting over on a drive to the weak side drive to the basket. She sprinted over to like go double team or take a charge or something or just be in the way, but like it wasn't needed the rotation. And then pass went right over her head. Her offensive player nailed the three. I can't remember who it was. So I started looking at that kind of stuff, like more off the ball defensive things, because seems like we don't. I mean, we don't need. We're always going to need someone to score, but I don't think it's a good idea to substitute offensive shooting if the defensive side of the ball is going to take a hit, right? You need players that can do both. So she was one who stood out. Just a few of those plays where it's either not going for a rebound or a bad rotation. And then other one would be I was disappointed in Madison Hayes. I know she got 10 minutes, but she took a three early and drove to the basket and it kind of slipped out of her hands. And then she didn't look to do anything else. Had a couple assists, yes, but she's out there to shoot. I would like to see her shoot a little bit more, get a couple more shots up. She's someone I'm rooting hopefully to make the team, but as a not undrafted rookie, like you have to do something to stand out. And game one, I thought she did a little bit, and unfortunately, this game she didn't really have many opportunities to do so. But I will say that entire fourth quarter, I texted you. I watched the game not live, so I could fast forward a little bit through it. Like I texted you at the start of the fourth, and I was like, "Wait, they only scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. Like this isn't going to be a good watch." So unfortunately, the fourth quarter wasn't high quality basketball at that point.
Yeah, at one point I made a sandwich at the fourth quarter and came back and we still had the same amount of points. I was like, I don't need to even rewind. Yeah, all right. So overall preseason numbers, these are just the people who played in, well, this is everybody but Mabry, I guess. Everyone who played in multiple games. Tina Charles, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks in 44 minutes. Allen, 7, 4, 10, 1 steal in 36 minutes. Nelson Adota, 19-7 and 19.7 rebounds, no assists. 3 steals, 2 blocks in 29 minutes. JC, 21, 3 and 5, 1 steal in 39 minutes. Parks, 9, 5 and 3 and 3 steals in 47 minutes. Peters had 13, 9 and 3, 2 steals in 41 minutes. I think I'll post this on social media as well. Show everyone the stats. Okonkwo, 14, 4, 1 and 1 steal in 27 minutes. Yvonne Anderson, 9, 5 and 7 and 3 steals in 46 minutes. Diaby, 8, 8 and 2 and 29. Marshall, 7, 2, 1, 3 steals, 1 block in 14 minutes. Hayes, 3, 3, 3, 2 steals, 1 block in 26 minutes. Those last two, it's like he kind of did a lot in a little time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Tina Charles put up 30 points as a high. It's pretty cool. Anything else you want to say before we get to our roster predictions?
No, I think it was nice to see progress in a short amount of time from first game to second game. So, I mean, winning and losing, who cares about that? But like playing well is what you're looking for, and we definitely put on a much better performance against Liberty.
Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah, it's weird because like now I want to see how like this team does, but now we got to add the 2 rookies.
Right. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, maybe 3 rookies too, depending on Layla.
Yeah.
Like it's 3 young players that are.
And are they going to play
rotational players? Right.
Yeah. All right. Who's your roster? Who you got?
So how do we want to do it? Do we want to just say the cuts we think or final roster overall?
How do you have it? Do you
I
just
have
have
it
the
as
roster?
cuts.
All right. Who do you have cut?
So I have Madison Hayes cut. I
Okay.
have Robin Parks cut. I
Okay.
have Haley Peters cut.
Okay.
And then I have one of two between Okonkwo and Diaby cut.
Yeah, you got to
One of the
commit to
two.
it.
I think one of them makes it, one of them doesn't. I would say Okonkwo makes it and Diaby
Okay.
gets cut.
Yeah, if I had to pick between those two, I'd pick a Conquo. But all right. I did tiers again. I have guaranteed to make it Marina Mabry, Tina Charles, Anissa Morrow, Sanaya Rivers, Yvonne Anderson, Lindsay Allen, JC Sheldon, Olivia Nelson Adota. Likely to make the roster. Layla Lacan, Rhea Marshall, Diamond DeShields. And then the last spot I have is Haley Peters. Could make it. I have Robin Parks and Okonkwo based on minutes they've been getting. And
Mm-hmm.
then who's left, I think, is getting cut probably first. They'll probably cut off. I don't know. There's still like a week left of
There's
camp, right?
8 days till opening day.
Yeah, they might cut them. I think if I had to guess cuts in order, Hayes, Diaby, Parks, Conquo.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like Hayes to stay
So would
over
I.
any with over Peters too, but I think we have enough guards.
It's just such a limited roster, and there's a lot of guards on the books. Like Anderson and Allen both making it. JC's obviously making it.
Yeah.
So right there, that's 3 guards, Mabry, 4, Rivers, 5, and if Lacan's coming over this year, that's 6 guards right there for your 12 spots. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot of guards, and that's not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
counting the shields. I keep forgetting about the shield diamond. Like there's a lot of guards on this roster, so who knows? Maybe someone like Diamond gets cut. Who knows?
I feel like being injured for her helped.
Maybe.
Just yeah.
But yeah, you got a lot of guards on this roster. Probably all of them aren't staying. But
Eh,
but yeah. No, I so what do we think? We'll stop seeing each other for a couple hours here and then come on over for the next game.
Yeah. So next Wednesday is the last. Next week is the last episode before the season,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Season starts on Sunday, next Sunday.
What did I say we would? I don't even know. Did I say this would be the last episode before it, or
No,
we
I
have?
think we said we'll probably do a preview of the Washington Sun game, and then
Oh
we have
God, it's the first episode, first preview episode.
preview, and then day in a life of us
I'm
going
an
to the
idiot. I don't even know my own rules.
game.
Yeah, we got to get ready for the first fucking preview episode. We got
Uh-huh. Hopefully, we'll have a
Alex's
final roster by then. We'll be able to make some predictions on rotation and minutes, and
Alex's expectations, and X's and Joe's,
yes,
and then whatever else we decide. We gotta think about the awards. We gotta
hmm
do. We gotta predict, and then want to give out. All right, we managed to get this one over an hour. All right, go
yeah,
spend time with your wife before I see you again.
yep. Gotta go trade. You're off the hook for a couple hours, then you can come back to me.
All right,
All right, thanks everybody.
have a good one. Till next week, and then we start games.
Woo!
We will be there in person on the 18th, right?
Yes, on the 18th. Looking
All
forward
right.
to maybe potentially meeting some people, seeing some faces.
If we don't meet some of you, we'll be upset. We're awkward, so come up to us. But we got a whole nother week to to talk about that. So we'll let Joe get out of here, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.